Hello once again, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, and we have more items that have come in the mail that we're going to unbox. But in addition to that, we're going to kind of do a twofer. We're going to start off by, you can see here we have 3 boxes. We're not going to unbox all of them. Today we're going to unbox one at a time per episode. But that's not all you're going to see. We have an item or items from our recent trip to Batuu, Galaxy's Edge, Black Spire Outpost, and we're going to share that with you too. Okay, so let's get started. We'll take a look at these. Now, some people that have done this can take a look at this box, and if you've done any purchasing of this type of an item through the company that boxes like this, you might see this little fragile handle with care. It says glass on it. I can assure you there's no glass here. But you might recognize what this actually is. All right, people who know. Now, I will tell you, if you've watched any episodes leading up to this, you'll know anything that we've unboxed this. These are a bit tricky for the simple reason that they still use packing peanuts, or at least they did, and they still do. So I have to be a little bit careful with how I unbox these. All right. Now, by the way, if you haven't figured it out yet, this is from a company called Gentle Giant. And if you can't really see them in the back, but right up there, there's a whole bunch of other collectible items like said item. So looking forward to having their brethren join them. Let's slowly remove. All right, what do we have here? We have a continuation of the Star Wars Gentle Giant Jumbo Retro Collection. And these things are very sticky. They like to stick to them. It's just, oh. And there's more. These are 12-inch reproductions of the original vintage figures, or in this case, vintage looking figures. So we're going to so essentially what Gentle Giant started doing many moons ago is they started creating 12-inch reproductions of the vintage Kenner figures. And I think if I point this up over here, if you look up top at the top of the screen there, all right, those top two shelves you can see are a bunch of them. They actually have, sorry for the wobbliness of this, sorry. Okay. And even that Wampa is a jumbo version of the Kenner Wampa. They've actually done quite a bit of the original figures. I think they're up to about 50 or 60 of the original figures. I think there were, now that some will argue there have been 92, some say 95 because of variants and things of that nature. So let's just say there were somewhere in the 90s. That's how many original vintage figures, 3 3/4 inch that Kenner created back in the 70s and 80s. Well, they have made reproductions of roughly 50 to 60 of them. Okay, I've managed to collect most of them. I really do like them. They're basically just 12-inch versions of the 6, but they're exact duplicates of the 3 3/4 inch. Part of me was nervous that this would become something this vast, but never was I prepared for what they have done now, which is they have created the jumbo versions of the retro figures that have come out more recently. This is a retro style Mandalorian with jetpack. Well, it says Mandalorian jetpack, I should say. The Mandalorian jetpack. I don't actually see a jetpack on here, but it might be behind here. So these I tend to like to open up. All right, but I do want to just kind of showcase the box itself along with the, and I'm sorry for the packing peanuts, are a little linty, but you can see that they are obviously doing this in the style of the original. Now, I will say one thing that's a little different is that the vintage retro style Hasbro releases are not utilizing this kind of art. Okay, they're actually creating, as you can see here, we have Star Wars, and there's Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Phantom Menace, and so on. They've actually created their own things for things like their own title with the racing stripe for things like Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they'll probably continue to do that as things move. Expanded universe, everything. So here they've opted to Gentle Giant. As you can see, they even have the Gentle Giant, like using the Kenner font. Okay, they've actually opted to make this a original Star Wars card, calling it the Mandalorian Jetpack. Okay, so that's the front. You can see there's your character. Obviously, it's not to scale, because if they were going to do the figure to scale, the card would be like this big, which smart move on Gentle Giant's part. And if you flip it over, you can see here we have a picture of the Mandalorian with Grogu on the speeder bike, and then we have some of the other figures. And you can see here there's a lot of figures here that are coming, or in fact, if I'm not mistaken, with the exception of the Imperial Commander, this is the only one of this whole row. This is the only one that was still an original vintage collection release. Every other figure you see in the coming soon box here are newly created. We have an Admiral Thrawn, we have the Mandalorian pre-Beskar, we have the Luke Skywalker and Vader concept, we have the Mandalorian jetpack like we own, the prototype Boba Fett, and the Grand Moff Tarkin. I don't know if I've ordered all of these, honestly. I think all of the new items are kind of are starting to ship. Obviously, we have 3 here, so we'll see which 2 came in the mail or have been shipped to us in future episodes. So, all right. Now, I've said it on many occasions, but one of my favorite things about this, the Gentle Giant, is the way they package them. They make it fairly simple. I mean, they do have these little kind of circular stickers. I don't keep them, but then the rest of it, it's still packaged. You just have to, it has a kind of a closed clamshell that you just open up, and then you can actually remove the figure or return the figure. So when the time comes, and sometime there will come a point where we will return, I will want to, or I or someone around in my family will want to return, maybe put this figure back out for sale. You will see that there is an option to do that, and it still will have to be sold as a used, displayed figure, but it's something that will be mostly back in the package for people who want to display it in the package. The only reason I don't display it, I keep the package, but I don't display it in the package simply because it's just too big. There's just way, way too much here. All right. And before I get to that, I want to also point out, pardon me. Okay. Little Gentle Giant catalog. First, I thought it was a catalog, almost done in the style of the original catalogs. But they have statues, they have half-scale busts, they have mini busts. Gentle Giant's got some great high-end stuff. The only things I've ever collected, mainly from Gentle Giant, were the jumbo figures. I think I collected 1 or 2 busts, which I've since sold off, and there was one other thing. Oh, I think they had animated maquettes, which I do have a few of those. So that's pretty much all there is to those. So, all right, so I got to get this back open so I can remove Din Djarin here. Come on, buddy. It's a little tricky in my little space here. Sorry if the mic's clicking. It just doesn't want to stay. All right, we got that over here. Okay. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I have to look at the figures to see if they are truly carbon copies of the 3 3/4 inch retro line that Hasbro put out. I don't know if they are, honestly. They might be. They're pretty close, I'll say that. Okay, and again, just 5 POA. Okay. There's his jetpack. Okay. I don't know if there is a way. It looks like he has got a rocket. I don't know if there's a way to launch the rocket. It doesn't seem like there is. And the cape itself seems like it's kind of permanently attached. So I am not sure if. I'm not gonna. I think you can pull his head off. and remove the cape if you want. But I kind of like the cape, so we're gonna leave it on. As with all of the Gentle Giant figures, the weapon holding is hit or miss. In this case, if you try to hold it completely straight, it just falls off or it just dangles, and it's easy. So when you put it in, you have to kind of put it in and twist it a little bit, and even then, sometimes that doesn't work. So that's my only complaint about that, because it just makes it, or you have to hold it that way, or there's no real good way to do that. So that's just the nature of it. But there he is, Din Djarin himself, all Beskar up and ready to go. Again, only 5 POA. Legs move, arms move, head turns. That's it. But really cool. It will find its place up on the wall there with the other 3 3/4 inch jumbo versions. So there you go. Now, as I said, let's see if does he pass the stand test. He's kind of right next to me, but he seems a little. Well, he does have that backpack, so you're gonna have to adjust his legs ever so slightly. And I dropped his weapon again. There we go. Yeah, it's the only problem with any kind of counter. You need counterweight, and that's just kind of the nature of it. So let's see if I do that. Will that be enough? If I bring his hand out a little bit. There we go. So he does pass the stand test with a little bit of adjusting. Okay, so great, right? Now let's talk about the item that we're going to feature on today's episode from Galaxy's Edge. Now, there are some people right now looking at this and going, "Oh my God, I can't believe he got that. That's fantastic." And there's other people going, "Oh my God, I can't believe he got that. That's so ridiculous." And then there are some that are saying, "What the heck is that? It looks a lot like an ice cream maker." And you'd be right. So, I'm sure a lot of you already know this story, but let's tell it anyway because it's so much fun. So, once upon a time, back in 1980, or filming of Empire Strikes Back, which is a little bit before that, but the whole world saw this in 1980, there was a scene in The Empire Strikes Back. One scene. It was towards the end. It was when Lando Calrissian turned good again and freed Leia and Chewie and tried to go and get and rescue Han from the bounty hunter Boba Fett. So what did he do first, though? He went into a little comlink, a PA system, and he announced to all the people of Beston. He said, "Attention, this is Lando Calrissian. The Empire is taking control of the city. I advise everyone to leave before more Imperial troops arrive." And then he gets Leia and Chewie and 3PO, and they run off. And then you see this mass exodus of all these people in Bespin, grabbing what they could and running. But there was this one guy who was running a little bit through the scene. He was just an extra, and he was running through the scene, and he was carrying what looked like this. Well, anybody who has ever made homemade ice cream will know that this looks suspiciously like an ice cream maker. Well, that's because that's what the extra was carrying. That's what they did. They made props out of whatever they could find. And somebody saw an ice cream maker and said, probably picked it up for free at a rummage sale or something, or for very little money, and the production designer doctored it up as something that could look like something that someone could carry, maybe like a little portable safe. So it became so popular that people, even West End Games, I think, or Hasbro or Lucasfilm, gave the character, this extra, a name. His name was Wilro Hood. Okay, and that's why if you've ever watched Star Wars Celebration, there has been this annual thing for years and years called the Running of the Wilro Hoods, where people just get dressed up in orange jumpsuits, because that's what he wore, and they put on little fake mustaches, because he had a mustache, and they run around carrying ice cream makers, and they call it the Running of the Wilro Hoods. Yes, it's crazy, it's bizarre, it's Star Wars, but it's a freaky, very distant thing of Star Wars, so whatever. Great, right? Fast forward to the second or third episode of The Mandalorian, and when the Mandalorian delivers the child, the asset, to the client has his Beskar, but he has the Beskar in a, what they call Camtono, okay, Camtono, which looks suspiciously like the ice cream maker. Well, that's what this is. And Disney has decided to create one as a kind of a thing that has a little locking mechanism on it, and you can store your devices in it. So I've already pre-programmed it, so I'm going to enter in my programming here. And then it's open, and you turn it. Oh, and there you go. There you have. Oh, is it going to be? Oh, does it open all 4 sides? I thought it opened all 4 sides. I'm going to try that again, because I think it opens. Oh, that's not 4 sides. It's 3 sides. All right, and oh wait, I gotta. Okay, try this again. Now, there it is. It opens up all 3 sides to reveal your items, right? And what items do we have? Look at this. Oh, there's something inside. Now, I'll get to these in a minute. No, these didn't come with the Camtono. This is something different, which I'll explain in a second. But that is your little Camtono device. Now, there is another way you can experience opening up a Camtono. This was a reasonable $40, I think, with a discount. And you can, use it for any kind of safekeeping. I mean, it's like any other safe. Of course, somebody could just run away with this whole thing, but it is still a pretty cool, kind of fun nod to a great scene in the movies and in the TV show. However, now, when you are on the Disney Wish, the newest cruise line, there is a Star Wars hyperspace lounge. It's like a bar drinking area where they have Star Wars themed drinks, kind of similar to the Cantina, but a little more upper class, got a nicer look to it, almost like Dryden Voss or Canto Bite, that kind of thing. Well, you can order a drink that comes in the Camtono. The drink is $5,000. 5000. And it's actually 4 drinks. It's 3 very rare types of alcohol, plus another, it's either cognac or something of that nature. Very rare. Look, bars have very expensive drinks. I mean, this is no different on this cruise than any other cruise. But 5,000 did seem like a lot. However, it does come with one extra thing besides it. First of all, the one thing people were laughing at, you don't even get to keep the Camtono. I mean, it makes a little more. It's a little bit higher end. It makes some noise. They have all the smoke comes out of it, so it's a little bit higher end prop. But you don't even get to keep it. You get to have the drinks, and that's it. But that's not it. It also includes a tour for 4 people of Skywalker Ranch. So there's that. So once I heard that, at first I'm like, there's no way I'm ever going to get that ever in my lifetime. And then when I heard the whole Skywalker Ranch, I'm like, well, if I have like 3 other friends do it with me, then it's only like, $12.50, which doesn't seem so bad, but probably not. But we'll see. One can dream. Okay, so what do I have here? Well, there's this thing called wishables, and these are items that you can get in Disney parks. They're kind of blind bag items. Okay, there's usually a little series. I was actually picking up some of these from a different series, one more related to Pinocchio, the movie. And when I went to go pick up a few, I noticed that there were Star Wars Galaxy's Edge versions, and I went, oh, that's kind of cool. So I have no idea which ones they are. I waited until this moment to open them. So I think there are 5. There's a non-blind one that's just you can get if it's for sale without the bag. It's Chewbacca. Chewbacca's nice, but I have a lot of Chewbacca. The other ones are the Millennium Falcon, Hondo Ohnaka, a Porg, and R5P8, which is Hondo's droid. So let's see what we got. Yay! We got Hondo Ohnaka of Ohnaka Transport Solutions. And this is the new thing that Disney's doing. They have these like tags that this thing is bigger than Hondo. Look at that. It's crazy. So Hondo, I'm going to put Hondo right on the Camtono here. And let's try the other one. Another Hondo! Okay, so we have 2 Hondos. Okay, well that means that one of them is definitely going to be put in the sale pile. But for next year. But we'll see. But it is kind of cute. If somebody wants to do a giveaway, let me know, and I'll see about maybe doing something of that nature. But so that was it. Those are the main things. There is one more thing. It really wasn't Galaxy's Edge. It was more of a. Oops, sorry if this is pulling. It wasn't Galaxy's Edge. It was more of a just in Disney parks in general, and that is the Star Wars Pride collection. And we have BB Proud, which is a BB unit droid that is kind of got all the different colors of the rainbow with all of his discs, and that is part of the June. I know this was like 2 months later, but this is part of the June Pride month. Now, kudos to Disney for making this far more available. Last year they only made a small amount available, and they sold out mostly to scalpers, like with the first day. So this was allowing. Now there's plenty of droids there, and anybody who wants to show their pride can do that. So there you go. There's Pride BB-8, and or not BB-8, BB Proud, part of the Droid Factory collection. Will stay in the card. So that will do it for this episode. This is a pretty long episode because half of it was just trying to unbox the Gentle Giant stuff. So I'll try doing that differently next time to shorten it up a little bit. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification. Check out all the videos on my feed on YouTube. They drop Wednesdays and Sundays. Also check out my Instagram and Twitter feeds, and the Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing page on Facebook. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you.